Hi chums, okay. We're on number 52. It's Cara again. And this one here is just Cara, verve compost and nothing else. No bloodfish or bone, no spuds galore. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here now. I'm just getting my gloves on here. Right, while I was talking about David Bowie, I thought about the time myself and my mate Gary went camping down the west coast of Ireland, going down to the south. And David Bowie was pretty big then. That was in the late 70s. Well, early 70s, actually, it was more early 70s. About 74. So I was about 16, 17. And we headed off down south camping, just the two of us, you know. On a bit of an adventure because we'd never done it before. But I was talking about the Christianity thing there and about judgment. And it put a story in my head about hitchhiking. Now, at that time in the north of Ireland, in what we euphemistically referred to as the Troubles, it wasn't very safe to hitchhike. Because you are thumb a lift, you wouldn't know who would lift you, and it was just too dangerous, so he didn't do it. But when you'd over the border into the south of Ireland, it seemed somewhat safer. So we would hitchhike down the west coast of Ireland. It was great fun. It was great fun, except for one day. Now I'm going to tell a story here about a Christian lady, and I'm not making fun of her, okay? She was a very devout lady, much more so than I am, and she had great faith. And because of her faith, we got a lift, which was just what we wanted on a really shitty day. So I'm thanking her, I'm not making fun of her, but I want to tell you what happened. So we were in Limerick and we're heading down to Killarney, which is further down south. You all know about Killarney in Ireland. It's a famous tourist mecca. And we left Limerick and we got a lift out of Limerick. We were very, very lucky because we started off early in the morning. So we got a lift early because you don't leave it too late because there's big long lines of people, and the drivers get to the stage where you don't even bother stopping because they know, for instance, that if there's two girls standing thumbing a lift, there's a good chance there's two fellas behind a hedge waiting as well, you know. And there's all sorts of sneaky things happen. But myself and Gary were on our own, so it was pretty obvious there was just two fellas, you know, because we weren't going to go out and get a lift, try and hitch a lift and then bring two girls out, you know. You use the girls as bait, basically, you know. This is all right. These are a nice size. So anyway, we got a lift with a traveller. And he said to us, look lads, I'm heading down to Newcastle West. It's about halfway there, down to Killarney and all. Is that any good? We went, yeah, no problem, that's dead on. What we didn't know was that Newcastle West was the hardest place to get out of in Ireland. If you were stuck in Newcastle West, you were well and truly stuck because traffic just went through. It didn't really stop. It was a small sort of villagey place. And at Ribbon Village, it was just like a long row of houses and a few shops and stuff. I'm talking 40 years ago now, so I don't know what it's like now. But at that time, it was just somewhere you drove through and you didn't stop. And that's where we got left. So, a bit of an issue, you know, we couldn't get out. So, there were other people hitching a lift as well, and there were girls hitching lifts, and we knew we hadn't a chance against the girls, you know. So, we started walking, and it was a really horrible day. Really horrible. And we were just, at one stage we thought to ourselves, right, we're going to just get over the hedge here, put the tent up and sleep here, because we couldn't do it. We're just completely, absolutely knackered at that stage. And the next thing, his car pulled up. It was a little Fiat, and I'm sure the lady's dead now. She was fairly old at the time, and God rest her if she is. I hope she's in a good place. And this lady stopped for us. We were so delighted. She said, where are you going, lads? We said, look, we're heading to Killarney, but can you just get us out of here, please? She says, that's no problem, I'll do that. So we get into the car and we were talking, and she said, do you know why I picked you up? I thought to myself, oh Christ, this is some sort of psycho. Oh, here, I'll tell you a psychopath story. This is some sort of psychopath or something, you know. And we said, no, why? And she said, because you reminded me of Jesus. And we said, why? And she said, because when all the rest had stopped, he kept going. And when I was coming out of Newcastle West, everybody else was standing in a row, but you two fellas were the ones that were walking 4 miles outside the town, where there was no chance of getting a lift, but at least you were trying to get where you were going. And she said, I felt that sorry for you. I thought, I'm going to stop for these guys. This is a sign that these guys need a lift. They've just reminded me of Jesus and his attitude. So we were well complimented, you know, and very relieved that she'd taken that view of the whole thing, you know. And then she said, you know, I don't give people lifts. And we said, why not? She said, because the last time I gave 2 fellas a lift, they threw their rucksacks onto the back seat of the car, and when they were getting out, the boy in the back just ripped the seat with the second rucksack, taking it out. And I was sitting in the back and I went, oh, you're joking. She went, no, I'm not. And she says, I never gave anybody a lift from that, and that was nearly 12 years ago. So you guys have really sort of sparked something here because of your determination. And we said, well, thanks very much, but really at the end of the day, it was a really careless thing for somebody to do. She said, well, it happened, and I swore I'd never get anybody a lift, but you two guys inspired me. And I said, well, we said, thanks very much. So that was fair enough. Off we went, and she actually took us about 8 miles out of her way. I can't remember what the junction was, but she brought us to a better place to get a lift. Got out of the car, thanks very much. Gary got out of the front, I got out of the back. I lifted Gary's rucksack out. I leaned over to get my rucksack. I pulled it towards me, and all I heard was right across the back seat. And your lady turned round and she went, get out, get out, get out of my life. I can't believe this. And she started. And she was really upset. And I was upset. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Don't say sorry. Just close the door. Close the door. And this sort of thing. So it wasn't a very nice parting, I can tell you that. And I did feel guilty. We kind of laughed afterwards because out of nervousness and shame. But very shortly we thought, Jesus, that's a terrible thing we did in that moment. So there she had to get her seat fixed again, all because of me being a stupid asshole and pulling this thing across the seat without thinking about the buckles. For young people now, you might imagine, how can you tear a car seat with a rucksack? But back then, you had like buckled straps with like your old school bag or your shoe buckle type thing, and they were just sharp corners, and when you pulled them, they cut. And we had been in and out, Gary and myself, in and out of so many cars, never once did a bit of damage, except to the car where the lady gave us the lift we needed most. So I felt really bad about it, and I do think about that. Not a lot, but anytime I think of hitchhiking, I always think of that with my moment of shame that I damaged that poor lady's car, you know. So what are the chances she's watching this? If she's watching this now, I just want to say I'm really sorry, and I have been sorry ever since the day I did that. Don't think that we just brushed it off as nothing. We both felt really bad about it, and I still feel particularly bad about it because I did it, and I'm sorry. And I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. And if you've gone on ahead of us all, I hope you're happy wherever you are. Right, that's my 40-year apology made. I think I needed to do that because that really did bug me, that situation. Tearing that poor lady's seat, you know. So that wasn't good. But just to finish that wee story off, it was still bucketing down, absolutely bucketing down. And the cars were flying past. You see, nobody wants to lift a wet hitchhiker, especially 2 wet hitchhikers, because what happens? Your car's going to get wet. We were standing in the pouring rain, and a priest drove past in a Fiat 124, a dark blue Fiat 124. It looks like the Lada was built on that chassis. And as he drove past, I fell on my knees on the ground with my hands in front of me in prayer. And he slammed the brakes on. And he came back and he reversed back and he said, how could I drive past you? And I said, Father, it was a desperate, desperate call, but I had to do something because we are soaked and cold and miserable. So that was fair enough. We got into the car, and Gaelic football is a big thing, you know. And he started talking about Gaelic football, and he turned out he knew my father. So once that relationship was established, my father was a bit of a big name in Gaelic sports here. and everybody knew he was on TV and all that sort of stuff. And what do you call it? Once he knew my father, but he didn't know him he knew him personally. So what do you call it? Once that link was established, he was going off to Tralee, but he brought us to Killarney and went out of his way to do it. So that was very nice, you know. I have another story for you. But there we go. There's the Cara. Now some of those have got wee bumps on them from sitting in bags too long, but that's okay. That's nothing to worry about. Where's my bag? Where's my wee bag? I had another bag that I brought with me. Yes, here we are. So that was my thing, my guilty secret. My guilty secret. And actually, when my son was going to go camping, and I said to him, look, I'll tell you something, see if you're getting a lift anywhere, please be careful with your rucksack, because no matter how nice the people are about it, if you tear somebody's seat, you're going to feel like a dog for a long, long time, you know. So maybe it's just my guilt buttons are well and truly pressed, you know. As I get my gloves off here, my hands are getting really, really cold now. So there you go. Where are we at now? Right, I've got another, I have another story for you when I get this done. Hold on a minute now. Right, where are we at now? Oh God, this is going to be good. I wonder, can I get into, will I be able to do this into the sun here? We'll just have to try it, and you'll take my word for it if it would. Right, there we are. That's that. Oh dear. Right, we'll take this bag off, and we'll set it over there. And we'll start our scales again. Hello. And they're on, I think they're on pounds, so we'll get this one on here. Oh, there's about 4 pounds in this one thing. 4 bang on, so that's just under 2 kilos, with 3.8 kilos. Sorry, 1.8 kilos versus 3. I was thinking of the 4 pounds there. So 1.83 kilos or 4 pounds. So there you are, well folks, that's that done. I'm going to just stop the video here and do another one then. I'll tell you about the other story I'm going to tell you now. So there you go folks, thanks for watching. I'm just going to pull this back here, because if I don't I'll forget and then I'll not be able to set it up for the next one. Right, so there you are folks, thanks for watching, and number 3 coming up. I said I was never going to put 3 videos up in one day again, but sure, never say never.